We did $9.5 billion in economic impact last year. I'm sure that has everyone really excited, and it has us excited too.
Right.
But most of that spend is subsidized through our tax incentive program.
Hi, and welcome to Kelly, where we talk about life, your life and my life. And through Kelly, we hope to inspire. I have Taylor Owenby on the show today, and Taylor manages Cinema ParkStudio. So tell us what Cinema ParkStudio is. You used a term, studio incubator. I thought that was a very interesting word. So tell us what a studio incubator is.
Sure, absolutely, Kelly. At Cinema ParkStudios, we're Georgia's first studio incubator. So a lot of people may have heard of what an incubator does in terms of, tech incubators, maybe business incubators, business to business service companies. Well, right now in Georgia, we see an opportunity to help grow the talent base here.
Yes.
So for us, we wanted to open up an incubator to develop content. So what we've done is we've teamed up with some phenomenal advisory board members, staff, and the industry here to create an above-the-line content creation hub where people can come in, get access to classes and workshops year-round, provide them the space to work, as well as opportunities to pitch for both funding and distribution. The idea is if we put writers, directors, producers, and talent together in the same space and provide them support and guidance, as well as one-on-one mentorship, they'll start creating things.
Yeah.
And they'll find ways to workshop their scripts, to create proof of concepts, and to win contests and competitions that greenlight their scripts into POCs and their POCs into full-form content. So that's what we're doing.
And why is that important to Georgia?
Well, before we launched, we looked at a lot of different companies and studios here in Atlanta and in Georgia, and there was really nothing that bridges the gap between education and opportunity above the line. Right now in the state, we're primarily known for production spend on location.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we did $9.5 billion in economic impact last year. I'm sure that has everyone really excited, and it has us excited too.
Right.
But most of that spend is subsidized through our tax incentive program. And to make a long story short, we're really only taking advantage of that time after a project's funded and before a project is distributed while they're shooting it here in Georgia. And so if we compare our business in Atlanta, for instance, to LA, the economic impact is 3 times greater, dollar for dollar. Why? Well, that's because in Los Angeles, they have the content creation and the origination. So you get that residual income. And then also in California, you have the IP ownership where it's funded there. So, when all of the money comes back, as they say, the waterfall, it also goes back to Los Angeles. So they're getting hit, boom, we created the content, boom, we produced the content, and boom, we own the content. And so in order for Georgia to have a future where our own writers, our own directors, our own producers, and our talent are working, above the line here in Georgia, and we own the things that we're creating, we have to support that.
Yeah.
We see over the next 3 to 5 years a really once in a lifetime and a once in a generation opportunity where we can create an ecosphere here that's no longer just dependent on that production spend.
Yeah, that gave me chills. It's true. Yeah.
Yeah.
And if our incentives go away, we're back to ground zero. And there was actually an example of that in the 70s. The industry was actually really strong here in Atlanta in the 70s, and it went away.
Yeah, absolutely. Back in the the days of Burt Reynolds and In the Heat of the Night, even Dukes of Hazzard. I'm from Covington, and so I grew up, with that history as a part of our community there. And fortunately, that town has done very well in recent years thanks to the incentive program. But if we compare this to, say, Florida, or what happened in North Carolina, or what happened in Louisiana before they started fighting to get their incentives back, we see thousands of people lose their jobs overnight. And, you know, whereas we've been very, very fortunate here to be sort of the hub as Georgia, where all these other southeastern markets have sort of flocked to Atlanta and to Savannah, to Georgia, because they couldn't find work elsewhere. We need to start thinking about not only how do we keep those incentives, how do we bolster them for our content creators, but also how we move past and beyond where we are today so that we don't have to be in that situation ever.
Right.
You know, and I think a lot of people talk about, you know, Atlanta's the next Hollywood, or we're doing better than LA, or we're doing better than New York. And I really don't see the value in that. If, you know, we live in a global community, right? Like, you know, everything's connected through technology. It's much easier to do business. Why don't we create our own identity here?
Right.
Where we can provide, you know, partnership to LA and to New York and to the global film community and do more projects together.
Right.
That's our philosophy at Cinema Park. You know, we want to not just take advantage of come spend your money here while you're in town, but partner with us. Let's create projects together, and let's prove as Georgians that we have what it takes.
Yeah, and then we have substance. We have a foundation. We have something more than allowing our you know, people to make laws for us that get us work. We're doing it ourselves.
Absolutely.
Love
100%.
it. I'm on it. I'm on it. I love that. So that's the mission. You are a producer, and you produced I'm gonna be stuck right here.
Yeah, so I've worked as a producer in the past. You know, I started out, you know, raising money for my high school drama programs as a kid, you know, and I didn't realize that was what a producer did. Ended up going to the Savannah College of Art and Design in Savannah, moved back to Atlanta, and got an internship working with a producer. And I really fell in love with it. I thought that that type of work, how it impacts people, how you can create something and then make it, you know, come to life, was amazing. And so one of the first things I did here in Georgia was do a SAG-AFTRA new media pilot. And back in 2012, 2013, people weren't talking about new media. And so we had to go out of the New York office. We executed one of the very first SAG new media contracts in Georgia and made a TV pilot. After that, I went into television and then had the opportunity to produce an action thriller with Ving Rhames and Misha Barton and a few others that we premiered at Cannes and sold worldwide.
Nice.
Yeah, I wanted to be a part of film and television when I was 10. There was in Covington, there was a Lifetime movie that started filming across the street from my house. I walked over, talked my way into a role in this TV movie, and it changed my life.
Wow.
If you want to look it up, it's called The Price of a Broken Heart with Laura Innes and Park Overall. But I saw that on that set, every single person was an invaluable member of this family. And to me, it, you know, seeing all these different people from all these different perspectives and walks of life collaborate together to make something bigger than any one of them could ever be by themselves, like it was, I knew.
It influenced.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to do. That's 100% what I set in mind that I wanted to do.
Wow, nice, that's beautiful. With that, I'm going to give you your candy is
Starburst, yeah.
Can't talk today.
Awesome.
But I have a friend, Jordan Jackson, who's a comedian, and he turned me on to these. They're called Mambas.
Okay.
And they're kind of like Starburst, but a little different. So I mixed those in there with your Starburst. That is... I'm
going to try something new.
Please, yes. That is just to remind you, Taylor, that you're a gift in life, and our environments are so important. The more you create, the more it helps everybody. So thank you for having the courage to step forward and to do something new in Georgia. And I'm excited to see you know, where your business goes and how it goes, and and I'm excited for it. If you had any advice to give to an upcoming creator, what would it be?
Well, first off, thank you so much
You're
for
welcome.
this. And I did want to say, too, about Cinema Park. We premiered the company and launched at the American Film Market in November. And we're the first independently owned Georgia company to ever sponsor the market. So that put us on a global platform. What we presented to them is come to Georgia, partner with Cinema Park, bring your budget, bring your script, and bring your team, and we'll handle everything else while saving you 30 to 60% off your budget.
Wow.
So that's opened up a ton of doors for deal flow and for growth in Georgia. And, you know, we've seen it takes a lot of things to make something like this work, but by providing that pathway through current opportunities for our incubator members, we're able to position them in the workforce that much more quickly.
Yeah.
But for the younger people out there, the one thing that I would say as just a word of advice for anyone that wants to be a writer or a producer or a director or even an actor is don't wait for someone to tell you to do your dream.
Right.
I know a lot of us are told by our parents, maybe by our teachers, by our support systems that this isn't a reality, this isn't a business, and it is. And in order to make that happen, you've got to find the ways to just go create.
Yes.
And if you can do that while thinking about, okay, like what is my part in a bigger situation or a bigger scenario, I think that team spirit will carry you very far.
Yeah.
So that's the advice I would give.
You don't know where things are going to go until you create it. It's just like with this talk show. We created it, and you're sitting here, and we've gotten to meet wonderful people. We've gotten to introduce people to other people, and it's a fun journey. So
absolutely.
Why
so
not
why
create?
Not?
Yes,
Absolutely.
exactly.
High five there.
Exactly. Thank you for being on the show. Thank you for sharing with us. I appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Guys, if you have any questions down below, please leave a comment for Taylor or for myself, and we'll be glad to answer your comments. And give him a thumbs up or something on the comments. We love to cheer our guest on. We hope that this segment inspired and educated you.